composed in Sanskrit sometime between 400 to 200 BCE by an otherwise unknown author called Vatsayana, the Kamasutra is a text well known in Western audiences. However, it is primarily known for its difficult sexual positions and postures. What is lost in this common sense understanding of the text is that the Kama Sutra exists within the framework of the broader Shastra genre, texts which dealt with how an individual, ruler, or state should conduct its existence. The text specifically deals with the issue of kama, or desire. It is not the oldest text in the tradition, but is the oldest surviving such text within the Kama Shastra tradition. In the text, Vatsayana documents a huge variety of sexual positions, some notes on seduction, and different types of erotic women. However, he does not claim to know this himself from personal experience, stating that he in fact is celibate and composed the text after much meditation. Vatsayana does acknowledge that he is drawing from earlier and larger texts in the Kama Shastra genre. In fact, he blames some of the more difficult and contorted sexual positions on other writers. In classical India, it was accepted by those within the Brahminical setting that there were four major goals in life: 1. Moksha, or liberation; 2. Dharma, or duty; 3. Artha, wealth and power; and 4. Kama, pleasure. Most earlier classical works in the Indic thought dealt with the issue of moksha, whether that be the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, or even the works of non-Brahminic authors such as the Buddha and the Jains. However, with the development of the Shastra genre in the late classical Indian period, works began to proliferate, which then discussed the other three paths. The Manusmriti is the most well-known of the Dharma Shastra texts. The Arthashastra, as the name suggests, is one of the most influential texts on the pursuit of wealth and power. The Kamasutra thus sits in the same position as the preeminent classical Indian text regarding the pursuit of pleasure. In some ways, the Kama Sutra can be thought of as a journey through a sexual cycle, although primarily from the point of view of a man. After setting out the four recognized paths, the text then jumps into the life of the Nagarika, or the man about town. The Nagarika is an unashamedly upper crust individual. He has a foam bath every third day, the Kama Sutra says. His body hair removed every 5th or 10th day, and he continually cleans the sweat from his armpits. In the second part of the book, the Nagarika then steps through 64 different types of sexual acts. This is quite detailed, with an example as follows: the whimper, the groan, the babble, the wail, the sigh, the shriek, the sob, and words with meanings such as mother, stop, let go, or enough. Cries like those of doves, cuckoos, green pigeons, parrots, bees, moorhens, geese, ducks, and quails are all important options for the use in moaning. This part of the text has a much more open-mind homosexuality than the Manusmriti, and discusses homosexual acts, as well as aspects of sadomasochism and group sex. It also mentions specifically acts of fellatio performed by feminine people of a third sex. This passage has broadly been interpreted as referring to eunuchs, male and female transgender individuals, or male homosexuals practicing transvestism. This could potentially refer to the Hijra or Kinnar group, which is a community of eunuch, intersex and transgender people who live throughout the subcontinent area to this day. This group has been discriminated historically against, both under Indian and British rule, although in some communities and areas they have specific religious and ritual roles. The text then goes on in 5 more sections discussing the differing aspects and steps of sexual development. This includes the courting of a woman for marriage, including astrological compatibility, the duties of a wife, non-sexual interactions and intimacy with other women, the use of prostitutes, and even some advice with regards to mystical and magical sex practices, as well as some home remedies for sexual dysfunctions. It should be noted that the work is not a full-throated pursuit of hedonism. Although in the early period of one's life it is expected that karma should have a major, if not main, role, the other 3 goals of life, being wealth, duty, and liberation, are never completely dormant. Although definitely not a feminist text by today's standard, the Kamasutra is much more permissive than what is found in the Manusmriti. For instance, Manu castigates women who are involved in extramarital affairs, and seems to doubt the existence of a female sexuality. Good looks do not matter to women, nor do they care about youth. A man, they say, and enjoy sex with him. On the other hand, Vatsyayana states that a woman desires any attractive man, just as a man desires a woman. Vatsyayana also takes promiscuity from both sexes as granted, although he recommends a faithful relationship. He also expects both women and men to be involved in flings with lower caste individuals. Although the text has remained of interest in both Western and Indian audiences throughout the centuries, it is most striking that it provides a context and breadth to the period of late classical India. The Kama Sutra provides an alternative understanding of this era of Indic development, one in which the lines of caste and the ties of Dharma are not nearly as tight as the Manusmriti would have one believe. Although neither holds a position of sole authority over sexual and social mores in classical India, they instead present a spread of practices and belief during this early and interesting period.